So now we are live stream on our Facebook page of Vishwaneedam Center for Asian Blossoming. Thank you, dear and respected friend. Thank you so much for your kind participation in today's Swadhyay Chakra Weekly Forum Dialogue. It gives me a great sense of honor and privilege to welcome Dr. V.P. Sriraman from Institute of Management, Trichy, Tamil Nadu, India. Ananta bhai, extend a very warm welcome to Minati Pradhan ji, Dr. Gyan Lui, and all friends co-present here on Facebook Live also. Let's invite Sriramayan ji, but before inviting him, let me introduce him. He has more than 25 years of working experience, and he is basically a management professional, and he has very deep interest in corporate finance, deep interest in corporate governance, creative thinking, creativity, and he has various educational engagement, and he has presented many papers in prestigious conferences, journals, and written many chapters for book. And today we are going to talk on uh, Sri Ramayanam, the way of life. As you know, we are a society who defines a realm of life from religion. And Mahabharata and Ramayana are a great tradition. Many of our everyday life resolves around the morality and the principles of Ramayana and Mahabharata. So, and people like Mahatma Gandhi called democracy as a Ram Raj, so that we can directly communicate with this morality to these patras of Ramayana. So, as a way of life, how it is important for all of us to realize the morality and how we can have better art of living and what are the life lessons of Maryada Purushottam Ram. So, giving a kind of brief introduction of the topic, I would like to invite Ananta bhai to initiate today's discussion.
Thank you, dear Randhir, and thank you, Dr. Sriram, Minati, Gyan. So, Ramayanam, the way of life, and how do we live Ramayana? Ramayana as a story, Ramayana involving the journey of Lord Rama. Ramayana also has many stories. It also includes story of Sita, story of Lakman, and story of all people, Bharata, as well as the forest, Sabari. So all these stories, as well as the realities of living. The origin of Ramayana lies in an awakening. What is that? That Valmiki, who is seeing the bird being hit by the hunter, and that is Ma Nisada, O hunter, do not kill. So that is, so therefore the way of living of Ramayana is Ma Nisada, do not be a hunter, do not kill, do not kill those people who are in love. So out of many ways of living of Ramayana is this Again, do not kill, ahimsa. Though in Ramayana there are many difficult situations, but one of the important enduring message for Ramayana is to realize the futility of violence. And even in very difficult circumstances, not to forget the path of love, compassion, Maryada. We call Ramachandra as Maryada Purushottama. What is Maryada? What is dignity? Dignity is the foundation of human life and society. Today, in our contemporary world, also, dignity is a very important concern. It is not just human rights or justice. Along with rights and justice, we have to realize dignity. And when dignity comes, it is also related to beauty. Ramayana is a poem, the beautiful poem, the beautiful, but the whole beauty of characters, the beauty of the forest, and then dialogue, all the dialogue that is happening. For example, the dialogue between Sita and Ramachandra. There is a very interesting book by Chitra Banerjee Devakurani. She is a very thoughtful writer, and she has a book called The Enchantress of the Forest, in which she is describing that when Janaki, Ma Sita, is coming from Janaka Desha, Mithila, towards Ajodhya, and she is asking Lord Rama that why is that your soldiers are going, they're trampling on the saplings, and why is that they're just cutting down the trees? And Sita is asking this to Rama, and also Sita is suggesting that why these people, your soldiers, are so, you know, and she's asking the question about weapons. And inspired by that, I also have a poem about Sita, in which Sita is asking Rama that why are you holding Kodanda? And why are you holding weapons in the forest? Are you yourself so afraid? So therefore, the way of life of Ramayana, Sriramayanam, is we realize through the ways of life of Sita and the Sabari and the forest. All these are not only symbolic or just narrative, they are related to our own ways of life. Life as we live in moments, life as we live in longer durations, and life where the eternity kisses the moment. So now looking forward to your presentation, doctors.
Yes. Very good evening. So before I start, let me introduce one of my friend, Professor Surya Kumar. He's here. It's written Dell here. He's one of our visiting faculty at BIM. He used to teach economics courses. So he's very much interested. So I thought, so he can also join. So he joined us. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. So I thank the organizers for inviting me for this wonderful session on Ramayana. Of course, my father kept my name as Sriraman. Of course, there are some background with which he did because my father always used to chant only Ramana till he died at the age of 86 in 2014. He loves Rama so much. And right from my young age till the time he was with me, some 7 years back, till that point in time, the only thing that he will tell me is, see, I kept your name as Sri Raman. You know why? He used to ask me. Then he will always tell this, that you need to live like Rama. Oru sol, oru will, oru il. So that's in Tamil, which means one word. If you give a word, abide by the word. One sol, right? One sol means one word. One il means one wife, one woman in your life. And third is one will, that is kodandam. So that is Lord Rama. So he always used to say that you just abide by your name, that is more than enough. So that's what he used to tell me. So thank you so much again for giving me this opportunity. I must thank Dr. Abhishek, who's just joining, for linking me with this great learners. Of course, I'm not here to tell you the story of Ramayana, because all of us know the story of Ramayana. All the kids in India, they know about the Ramayana, the work. But I want to tell you some of my thinking, my thought process about what this Sriramayana is, what I want to call. I don't want to call it as Ramayana. I want to call it as Sriramayan. So because in our Vaishnavite tradition, Sri means Lotus, Lotus Lakshmi. In this case, Lotus, Sita. So he is always a Siaram. He is not Ram. He is always a Siaram. So that's why I want to call it as Sri Ramayanam and the way of life. Because for our life, I think there are so many lessons that we can take from his life, as all of you know. So I'm not here to tell you something very new. All of us, we know about this Sri Ramayana, and all of us heard about Sri Ramayana right from our very young ages till whatever we are. But I thought I will bring few pointers so that it is very nice for us to discuss further. Of course, as all of us know, Valmiki Ramayana is not the only Ramayana, as all of us know. So in Tamil, we have a very fantastic Kamba Ramayana, something called a poet Kambar. He has written Ramayana, which is called Kamba Ramayana. And you have Ananda Ramayanam, you have Adhyatma Ramayanam, we have Tulasidas Ramayanam, we have Ram Charita Manas. And of course, there are also Ramayana in many other languages, in many other titles. But essentially, the story line is the same. Maybe there is some difference here and there. The point that I would like to start today and discuss with you is, see, all of us, we want to live a very happy life, right? All of us want to do that. We want to live a very happy life, very joyful life, very purposeful life, and very harmonious life. So this harmony is a very important thing today. So today we use the word sustainability everywhere, because that's what is catching in the business today, because people are making sustainability as business today. But right from the time that the earth so-called formed many yugas back, we always have the sustainability. And whenever we say harmony, harmony is with the nature. Harmony is with oneself. Harmony is with one's own family and our own friends and our own relations and our own society at large. So Lord Rama, he was one of the persons, eminent persons, who always had harmony with all, not only with human beings, with all, even with a squirrel, even with monkey, even with that bear, even with the horse. So whenever, so we, I hope that in one instant of Ramayan where they say that, so this horse, so whenever you do the Ashwamedha Yag, after the Ashwamedha Yag, normally they used to, let me not use the word kill, but they normally used to, give it off. So Lord Ram, he stood and he said, why to kill an animal after Ashwamedha Yag? So the animal has actually run the entire Bharat for us. So is it good? Is it right to do that? So he went to that extent of, not only the human rights, as Professor said some time back, Professor Ananta said some time back, it is about the dignity of every living creature, even for the little squirrel. As you know, when that Sedu Bandhan was constructed, Hanuman, as all of us know, he was one of the kind of heroes in Ramayana. And Hanuman and with all other Vanaras, they were actually constructing that bridge. And this little squirrel was going from here and there. So Hanuman just took it on his hand and he said, hey, squirrel, you are actually disturbing me. Why are you going from this to there, there to here? Why are you disturbing me? I am putting a lot of big stones. If any of those stones is going to, touch you, or if it is going to be on you, you are dead. You will become chutney. Don't do that. But Lord Ram, he asked Hanuman, Hanuman, give that to me. So he, took that squirrel and he kept that on his lap, and he, gently touched it. And he said to squirrel, I am very, very pleased, because you want to help me in constructing this bridge. Though physically, I don't think you can do it, but still your attitude, I really like. So, of course, that's maybe from that time is what we see those, three lines on the squirrel's back, which people say that is the Lord Ram's hands. And that's what people are saying. So, not only for the horse, or not only for the monkeys or bear or for squirrel, Lord Ram was very, very close with the nature. So this nature is what is otherwise in Sanskrit, they use the word Prakriti, Prakriti Sambandh. All of us are having Prakriti Sambandh. All of us are part of nature, right? So what do we mean by part of nature? So we said we are actually part of nature, which means nature is part of God. So the word Vishnu in Vaishnava Sampradaya, the word Vishnu means the person who is all prevalent everywhere, wherever you think. There is nowhere that he is not there. He is there everywhere. And he is inside everywhere. And he is outside everywhere. So that is the name Vishnu. So Lord Ram, since he is the avatar of Vishnu, he was everywhere and he took care of everything. Coming back to this Prakriti, this Prakriti Sambandh, the Prakriti has three gunas, three characters. These three gunas are called as trigunas. And these three trigunas are, as all of us know, as I already told you, I'm not going to tell you anything which is new. All of us know this. But maybe there are a few times that we go back and reflect, and we take this and again think and think and think. So these trigunas are sattvic, rajas, tamas. All of us know this. We know what is sattvic. Sattvic is something in between, right? When you say what is rajas, normally whenever we say rajas, rajas is kind of, overexcited, obsessive, addicted, greed, selfish lust, overactive, selfish desire. So this is called rajasic. These are rajasic gunas that we have of the trigunas. Tamas, as again all of us know, it's kind of a dullard, very dull, depressed, repressed, damaged, neglect, denied, right? So selfish aversion, underactive. That is called tamasic, tamas. Sattva is in between. So these are the gunas which are called as trigunas, and that is there in nature, and we are part of nature, which means all of us are having those trigunas with us. And these trigunas are prevalent everywhere, because these trigunas are the basic mental attributes of whatever we do, of all our personalities. They cause various feelings and emotions in us. These feelings and emotions are actually leading us to the actions and thinking that we have. When I say the way of life, so this is what I want to talk to you today. When we look at our life as to what is that we are trying to do, how is that we are seeing the things around us? Why is that we are seeing the things the way that we are looking at the things? So when we go back, this is what I could get. Probably whatever others could get, you can also please share maybe at the end of this time. But what I could think is we are made of these three gunas, which means these three gunas will act on us at every point in time, because it is present in every creation of nature, including humans. All the creatures in nature, they have all these three. So these three gunas, as I said, are the basic mental attributes of a personality, according to the Vedic literature, which explains the relationship between mental attitudes and attributes and human behavior. The way that we behave is because which guna is in that point in time is more, is how we. So at some point in time, I am a good man. At some point in time, I am very angry with others. At some point in time, I am dullard. It is the same me, but the same me is exhibiting different kind of attitudes, the way that I look at everything in different ways. So of course this could be seen everywhere, right? So which means that even if you take so you can see this in day, in if you take one particular day, any day, maybe you see how you are there in the morning, how you are there in the afternoons, how you are there in the nights. So we see that this sattva guna is what is going to be kind of dominating us. Maybe in early mornings, that is why our our parents and our elders, they used to tell us that you need to get up early, because this is sattvic guna or sattva guna is what is dominant in the mornings. Maybe as it comes, maybe in the afternoons, our rajasic guna is dominant in the daytime. And when you look at the night time, our tamasic gunas, we are feeling very tired, very dull, we want to take rest, and all those things are tamasic. So when you take any day is made of all these three. Not only day, seasons, right? The seasons are made of these three. The food is made of these three. There are some food, after you taking that, you will feel refreshed. There are some food, after that, after taking that, you will feel very tired, right? So there is some food which will keep you a lot of energetic, right? So some food do good for us, some food do bad for us. So it is there in food, also in food, not only food, right? It is there everywhere in food. It is there in our thoughts. There are times that we have really good thoughts, very fresh thoughts. There are times that we could not think about many things. There are some times that we are really, tired. And so it is there. In our actions also it is there. So these trigunas are everywhere. And as long as we are influenced by these trigunas, we always remain in bondage. Bondage with who? With what? Bondage with the nature. So since we have this bondage with the nature, we could not go beyond this nature. So this is a problem. So the way of life that I see is that how do I overcome this? Can we go beyond nature? It is not possible. But at the same time, since the nature is having all these three gunas, can I try to increase the sattvic guna by suppressing rajasic and tamasic gunas? Is it at least possible? I cannot go beyond nature, but can I at least do that? Is it possible? So when I just try to ponder that, I think, after reading whatever little that I can, that we can, of course, influence these three gunas, trigunas, by altering the presence and the influence of external objects, lifestyles, thoughts. So if I can influence them, of course, many people said that one of the easiest and the most effective ways to affect these elements of nature is through the diet. That is one of the very, very effective, is what people are saying. So that is why we said we must be very mindful in whatever that we are eating. Our diet is very important. Of course, diet is not the only thing, but it is also very important. The gunas are not considered as a static set. They are very dynamic and changeable with the knowledge and introspection and swadharma. Of course, here is what I am entering into Sriramayan. When we talk about swadharma, the dharma, swadharma means self-dharma, the dharma that one has to follow, swadharma. So realizing one's swadharma and self is utmost important. for us to kind of, try to understand what nature is and how I can live in that nature with the nature. So the highest state of our existence and bliss is self-realization, or this is called moksha. So in Vaishnavite cult tradition, we always use the word mumukshu. So I'm very happy to call myself as a mumukshu. In fact, all of us are mumukshus, meaning what? Mumukshu is someone who is interested and whose interest and desire is to attain moksha. Moksha means self-realization. Moksha. So we call it as mokshanand. So the person who's having the desire and the interest to have that is what is called mumukshu. So when we think about this swadharma, self-realization, swadharma, so which is not actually easy to practice. It is absolutely not easy to practice, but we can try to actually practice that. So for us to practice that, there are many scriptures, right? As all of us know, there are Vedas. There are a lot of Vedas that we have. There are many scriptures that we have, right? So these Vedas and the scriptures, they are kind of very complicated for us to actually read and understand. So if there is a role model, then it is much easy for us to follow that role model. And Sri Rama, he is one of the role models. So if we try to follow Rama, and he's an example of a supreme personality, as all of us know, he's a role model that all of us can admire. I said admire because many a times we can only admire, because it is actually not that easy to follow him, his path. But if we try, if we can emulate at least one or two characters from Lord Rama and start practicing, as all of you probably know, as someone told already when he was introducing me, he mentioned about Gandhiji. So I also read somewhere that when Gandhiji was doing his fifth standard is what he heard this story from his mother. And from that day onward, Gandhiji has taken a vow, a resolve that he will speak only truth and he will follow only non-violence. And that's what has actually taken Gandhi to the heights, as all of us know. So if we can emulate at least a few gunas of Sri Ram and try to follow it, then our life is made, because he is a role model of a perfect human being. Of course, Ramayana depicts and the duties of relationships. So Lord Rama, when you see, how did he manage his relationships? The relationships with his gurus, the relationship with his father, the relationship with all three mothers, the relationship with his brothers, relationship with the wife, relationship with the servant, Hanuman, relationship with the friends, Guha, as all of us know, right? He said Guha as his, fourth brother. We know that he said that Sugriva is his another brother. And he said that Vibhishana is his another brother. He said with Vibhishana, we are 7. So 4 of them, as all of us know, Ram, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrukna. 5th is Guha, 6th is Sugriva, 7th is Vibhishana. So he says 7 of us. So he took them as in his brotherhood. And we know the background of all three. When you look at Guha, Guha is, as all of us know, he was just a boatman. And Lord Rama, he was a king. So how can a king not that just making a friendship, but accepting somebody who is just a boatman as his own brother? And again, when you look at the Sugriva is just a monkey, not even human. How could he take Sugriva as equivalent of his brother and he took him as his own brother? And we know that Vibhishana was a Rakshas. Again, he was not a human. How can he take him as a brother? So the relationships that he was actually having of not only humans but also with creatures. Like, how did he looked that horse? How did he looked that squirrel? How did he looked that that bear? How did he looked at that bear? And how did he looked at his own people? Everybody in Ayodhya, I heard and I read that everybody was always talking only about Ram. For all of them, Ram is more like their own son. And I also heard this in any of the families in Ayodhya, when there was a grief, a sad moment, there'll be one person who will cry, 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 cry. When you go and see who is this person, that was Ram. At the same time, in the same Ayodhya, whenever there was any jubilation, whenever there is a celebration, whenever there is a happiness, there was one person who was actually dancing with very, very happy state. When you see who is that person, again, Ram. So Sriraman, Ram, was one person who intermingled with all the people. But his father, Dasharath, was not like that. Dasharath was more as a king, but he was a very great king. He took care of his people so very much, but he always adorned. He is always known as a king. But Lord Ram is not actually known only as a king. He is actually one among family members of every family in Ayodhya. So that is why we call it as a Ramarajyam. So in Ramarajyam, I heard that all the people in Ayodhya, they never had any problem. They never had any disease. They never had any worries. They were always happy. They were always jubilant in Ramarajyam. Not only the people. When you read this Kambaramayana, when Rama was going to forest, there are some two lines in Tamil in Kambaramayana where he says, when he was leaving Ayodhya, not only the people in Ayodhya cried for him, but all the cows and calves, all the plants and trees and shrubs, all the creatures that you can imagine in Ayodhya, every creature was crying. But at the same time, every creature in the forest was very, very happy because they know that Lord or Ram is coming to the forest. So for the forest, it was a very, very happy moment. But for Ayodhya, it's a very, very sad moment. So if you see Ramayana also depicts the duties of how do we keep the relationship with the people. It actually portrays the ideal characters like how should an ideal father, ideal servant, ideal brother, ideal servant, ideal king, how they need to be there. So he taught so many things. For leadership, Raman, Sri Ram, is a great model for leadership. Of course, we also think of Lord Krishna as another part of leadership. But there is a paradigm shift between Lord Ram and Lord Krishna. Because Lord Krishna, many times, he exposed to the world that he is omnipotent. He can do anything. And he did a lot of wonders. But Ram never did not even a single wonder. He lived as a human being. And whatever the sufferings of the human being, he went through that. Whatever the complexities that we have in our life, he went through that. And he went through more of that. There are many instances that there was kind of a dharma yudh for Ram as to what he is supposed to do at that point in time and how he came out of all of them. So from this point of view, Ramayana teaches many things. as to how do we live. Ramayana also teaches how the temptations for the desires, whether the desire is for the be it greed, be it kingdom, desire for kingdom, or be it lust, be it human attachment, it actually shows, brings all those desires. And it shows very clearly what those desires are and what happened to them. I just want to list some of them in this August gathering. I'll just take few characters of Ramayana and see what sort of a desire that they had. As all of us know, Ram is, to whatever little of my knowledge, the only desire for Ram in his entire life is the desire to take care of Dharma. And the Dharma that he was taking care was what was called as Samanya Dharma. Samanya Dharma means the Dharma of day-to-day life. Of course, there are places where not only this Samanya Dharma, he also used the Vishesha Dharma. There are, places, as all of us know, there are few questions that people raised in Ramayana, whether what Rama did, is it really right for him to do this? Is it the way that he should do this? So there are many places in that Ramayana, right? Like, Vali, when he was killing Vali, some people, some authors, they also question that whatever Rama was doing, is it really right for Rama to do that? Should he kill Vali? Right? Is it the dharma that he follows? Or he was not heeding to the advice of his mother. He was heeding only to the advice of the father and not the mother. Is it right? And he abandoned Sita. Right? He abandoned Sita just for rumors, just for the hearsays to the forest. Is it right? He was a father of two unborn children, and Sita, Mother Sita, she was pregnant. Is it the time that as a father and as a husband, he should leave them in the lurch? Is it the dharma that he followed? Hanuman, he sets the Lanka to fire. All of us know. Is it the dharma? Surpanaka's nose, as of course there are versions. There is one version where it says that Ram, he cut the nose of Surpanaka. There is another version which says Lakshman cut the nose of Surpanaka. But whoever cuts, is it the dharma? So there are questions like this where we actually talk about something called as a Vishesha Dharma, where Dharma is, or Samanya Dharma is kind of, very crudely, if you put it, it is kind of an ordinary Dharma. Ordinary Dharma means what? Don't talk only truth. Don't tell lies. Whatever your parents say, obey the parents. Obey the teachers. This is a Samanya Dharma. Day-to-day life, the Dharma that we follow is a Samanya Dharma. But there are times that we can't actually follow Samanya Dharma. If I take some parallels, if you take Ravan's son, right? So Ravan's son is Meghanath. So if you take Meghanath, he also heard whatever his father was saying. Whatever Ravana was said is what Meghanatha followed, which means he followed Dharma. Raman also followed what Dasharath says. Dasharath says, go to forest. You need to go to forest. He said, okay, no problem. Ravana says, you need to go to the war. Meghnath says, okay, no problem. And he fought for his father and he died for his father. So he also took care of Dharma. Right? So not only him, but also you have Kumbhakarna. He also died in the war only for his brother. So which means not only Lakshman who took care of the dharma of protecting and being with the brother, even Kumbhakarna did it. He also followed dharma. Right? So there are places like this where we look at dharma from different, angles. and in different ways. So as I said, let me take few characters. So Dharma is what Ram want to take care. That was his desire. When you look at the desire of Mata Sita, her desire was to be with her husband. That's the only desire that she had. Of course, she protected Dharma. And when Sita got married to Ram, right? So it was very, very finely brought out by Valmiki that at that point in time, when Sita got married to Rama, so Sita's father, that is Janaka. Janaka is called as Rajarishi, Rajarishi Janaka. He used to live a very, very simple life. He never used a life of any king. He used to be a very, very simple life. That's why he is called as Raja Rishi. Though he was Raja, he lived more like a Rishi. So he told Rama, while he was giving Sita to Rama, marrying Sita to Rama, that Rama, I'm giving my Sita, and as long as you protect Dharma, Sita will be there near you, and she also will protect Dharma along with you. So that's what he said. So Sita, she also protect Dharma. So whatever the Dharma of a wife, right? So that's what we call as a Stri Dharma. So she actually took that Stri Dharma, and she even argued with Ram. When Ram do not want to take Sita along with him to the forest, she actually argued. Because when you look at Ram, when he was actually giving the news that he is going to forest to his mother, Kaushalya. So his mother says that I also want to come with you. But he says, you cannot come with me because you need to be with your husband and you need to protect your husband, nourish him, protect him, be with him. That's your dharma. That's a Sri Dharma. But when he comes to Sita, he said, you be here, let me go to the forest and come back. It is just 14 years. It will just like that go. I'll just come back. Sita said, you think there is one different dharma for your mother and one different dharma for me? For your mother, if the dharma used to be with her husband, for me, I need to be with my husband. That is the dharma that you said. That is the Sri Dharma. Right? So for Sita, the dharma used to be with her husband. For Lakshman, his dharma used to serve Ram, nothing else in his entire life. He did not do anything else. He was there with Lord Ram and he was only serving Ram right from the birth. Right? Of course, when all those four children they born, they kept all those four children next to each of them. They kept Ram first, they kept Bharat second, they kept Lakshman third, they kept Shatrugnan fourth, because that's the order of their birth, it seems. When they keep these kids in order, all the kids, they were crying, it seems. So nobody knows what to do. So they called their guru Vasishta, because Vasishta was the one who actually coronated all of them with the names. So Vasishta said, he just came and looked at all those four kids and he started laughing. And everybody was saying, why are you laughing? All these kids are crying. They said, no, no, the order that you have kept these kids, that's why they are crying. You change the order, they won't cry. They changed the order. So next to Ram, they kept Lakshman. Next to Bharat, they kept Shatrugnan. Then all those kids, they stopped their crying, it seems. So right from the day that they born, so these kids are very, very, kind of bonded with each other. Lakshman was bonded with Ram. Shatrugnan was bonded with Bharat. In Sri Vaishnavam, we say that whenever we talk about dharma, they follow different dharma, right? The dharma for Lakshman is to serve Ram directly. But the dharma of Bharat is different. He also wants to serve Ram, but in a different way. He actually wanted to live with Ram in the forest. That's why he came with all those people to the forest. Of course, the entire Ayodhya, it seems, that got vacated, and all of them, they were there in the forest to meet Ram. But when the time Ram says, no, nothing doing, I'm not coming, you go back and rule the kingdom. When Bharat was trying to argue, Ram said, you need to abide by my word. Bharat said nothing. He just went back with his sandals on his head, patuka. So with that patuka, he went all the way. Of course, he never went into Ayodhya after that. For all 14 years, he was in Gurugram. For all those 14 years, keeping that patuka as the king, he served Ram. So Lakshman also served Ram, Bharat also served Ram, but the difference is that Lakshman served Ram directly, but Bharat served for Ram. Whatever the words of Ram, Bharat says, yes, I will do. Though he could not live with him, his words are more important to Bharat than himself. When you look at Lakshman, sorry, Shatrugnan. Shatrugnan was serving only Bharat. For him, Ram is not important. Lakshman is not important. For him, the only important person is Bharat. Whatever Bharat says is what he will do. So we say that is the great seva. So though the God likes your seva or your service, when you serve the bhaktas of God, he is doubly happy. So Ram is doubly happy with Shatrugnan because he was serving Bharat, where Bharat is bhakta of Ram. Not only the Bharat brother, but also bhakta. So when we come to Lakshman, his only desire is to serve Ram. When you look into Bharat, his only desire is to obey Ram's order. Nothing else was his desire. Obey Ram's order, obey his words. For Shatrugnan, as I said, his only desire is to serve Bharat, not even Ram. When you look at Dasarath, Dasarath's desire is to be with the son, with the Ram. And he was so, very thickly connected with Ram. When you look at that attachment that he was having with Ram, of course, that attachment, we need to learn from this that we should not have that much of attachment with any of the people, though it is your son or daughter or whoever it is. Fine, they are sons, they are our daughters. But the learning I think that I must have is that don't have that attachment with any of the relationships. It doesn't mean that you don't serve them. You need to serve them wholeheartedly. You need to love them. You need to be with them. But at the same time, the kind of bondage that we are having with them, right? They said it should not be there. We should be more like the water on lotus, leaf. So that's the sort of relationship that we need to have. So Dasharath, his only desire was to be with his son. Kaikeyi, when you look at Kaikeyi, so her only desire was the kingdom for her son. Her desire is for the land. His desire was for the kingdom. That is the desire of Kaikeyi. When you look at the Sumitra, her desire, right? So Sumitra, as all of us know, both her sons, one son went with Ram, one son went with Bharat, and she was not having any son with her. But Sumitra, in the entire Ramayana, there are not many places that Sumitra came. I heard that in Valmiki Ramayana, Sumitra came only once. That's what I heard. Only once when Ram wants to go to forest and he resolved that he wants to go to forest. Sumitra, she came and she started with Lakshman. But at first, Lakshman thought, oh my God, what do I do? When my mother says, don't go with Ram, be with me, what do I do? I can't serve Ram. But Sumitra came and said, you know why you born to me? Or you know why I gave birth to you, both of you? Not both of you, because Shatrugnan was not there at that point in time. She said, I want you to serve Ram wherever he is. Wherever he is, be with him, do all the services to Ram. And that is the only thing I want you to do and nothing else. That's the sort of character that she was having. So for Sumitra, the desire is that Lakshman is to serve Ram and Shatrugnan is to serve Bharat. That's her only desire. For Kaushalya, her desire is to live with the family, kind of a traditional woman she was. Right? For Mantara, of course, this is another character that we have, and one of the very important characters in the entire Ramayana is Mantara. Because unless Mantara was not there, Ram could not have gone to forest. Right? And of course, I hope all of you know the story that when Ram was a very small boy and playfully, right, he, thrown something at her back, because Mantara was called as Guni, because her back was not straight. So Ram, he thrown something onto her back. From that point in time onwards, Mantara and all the kids laughed at that point in time. So from that time onwards, Mantara always did not like Ram, and she was always trying to find some way or the other that she must punish him. She must take revenge. So the only desire for Mantara is to take revenge on Ram. That's her desire. Vasishta, his desire was to protect the king and the kingdom. That's the only desire that he was having. For Vishwamitra, right? His desire was Lokakshema. That is why he is called as a Vishwamitra. He is Mitra. He is a friend of the Vishwam, the Jagat, the nature. Right? He always used to do a lot of homas, japas, karmas to protect all the people in the nature. So his only desire was Lokakshema. Tataka, right? So we heard about the killing of Tataka by Ravan. Tataka or Subahu or Marich. For all of them, their desire is to rule the forest by killing humans because they eat on only humans. That's the desire. The desire of Janaka, Rajarishi, is to live a simple life, Rishi's life. That's the only desire, because he never had any desire in the life. And that is his desire. And Kushadwaja, who is the brother of Janaka, his desire is to obey Janaka. No, like Lakshman, who always obeys Ram, like Shatrugnan, who always obeys Bharat, like Meghnad, who always obeys Ravan. Kushadwaja always obeys Janaka. Right? It's one of the ideal brothers. For Sumantran, who's the minister, and for him, his desire is to protect the king and the kingdom, being the minister. For Guha, his desire is to just love Rama, because he never asked anything from Rama. He just wants to be with Rama and he just loves Rama. There it ends. His desire is that. Right? For Surpanaha, her desire is the lust. Not only for Surpanaha, but also for Ravana. For both of them, their desire is lust. And for Ravana, it is not only the lust. For Ravana, the desire is also he wants to rule the entire earth, not only earth, the cosmos, the universe. He wants to be the empire. He wants to be the king, right? And of course, he was also lustful. So that was his desire. The desire of Mandodari, of course, Mandodari is also one of the finest characters in Ramayana, like Mata Sita, who is a Pativrata. Mandodari is also a Pativrata. So for Mandodari, her only desire is to protect her husband from whatever the adharma that he was doing. That was her desire. For Vibhishana, the brother of Ravana, unlike Lakshman, or unlike Shatrugnan, Vibhishana doesn't want to, or unlike even Kumbhakarna, Vibhishana doesn't want to follow adharma. And he gave a lot of advice to his brother. As all of you know, he was not heeding to any of his words because he was having all of ego in himself, because he thought he was very powerful. Nobody can do anything to him. Nobody could kill him. So that was his ego. So Vibhishana, his desire is to live a harmonious life by following the principles. He was a very, very pious person. That's what I heard. For Megnath, his desire is to follow the father's order, as I said. For Akshay Kumar, one another son, his desire is again to show his power and his veer. I hope that all of you know that he got killed by Hanuman because he wants to show that he is all powerful. That was his desire. For Trijata, her desire was only to serve Mata Sita, though she was also Rakshas, and she is the daughter of Vibhishana. And after that, she changed her mind. From Rakshas, she has become a very, very pious sort of a woman, and she protected Mata Sita uh, in Sri Lanka. So for Trijata, her desire is to serve Sita. Hanuman, his desire is only to serve Ram, nothing else. Of course, I heard that when the entire thing was over, when after Rama Rajya, so Rama, he ruled for, I heard it's around 11,000 years or 14,000 years is what he ruled his kingdom. So after his ruling, he wants to go back because he has almost fulfilled everything. He wants to go back to his own place. We call it as Paramapadam. He wants to go back. He took everybody along with him, right from a small worm to the grass, to the people, the entire thing from Ayodhya, he took to the higher lokas. Sri Ram took everybody with him. He asked Hanuman, Hanuman, why are you there? You come. Let's all of us go. Hanuman said, no, I'm very sorry. I can't come because I want to serve Ram. But if you go to the higher loka, you are not again going to be Ram. You are no more Ram. I want to serve Ram. So I will be here till the Ram Nam is there in this world. I will be here in this world. Please give me this boon. So Hanuman lives even today. That's what they said. Wherever you read Ramayana, you could see that the tradition is that the first row, people will not occupy the first row, or at least the first seats. They will not occupy, because the tradition here is wherever you talk about Ram, Hanuman will always be there. Even now with us, Hanuman is there because we are talking about Ram. So that's what Hanuman, he wants to serve Ram. Sugriva, his desire is to help Ram, of course, to rule his own kingdom, Kishkinta. Vali, again, he was a very, very powerful person, powerful man like Ravan. I hope you would have heard the story that at one point in time when there was a fight between Vali and Ravan, Vali took Ravan like this, like this. Ravan was so powerful with all his 10 heads, he could not do anything with Vali. Vali was so very powerful that whoever is the opponent, he was having a boon that 50% of the power of anybody whoever is going to be the opponent will come to Vali. That was one of the boon that Vali was having. So Vali cannot be defeated by anybody. Maybe perhaps that was one of the reasons that Ram, when he was killing Vali, he did not go straight and he did not, stand before him and he killed him. He killed him from behind. Of course, in here we talk that more about Visesha Dharma and not a Samanya Dharma. So for Vali, the desire was the lust. He was again a lustful person and lust for the power. That is Vali. Ruma. So Ruma was the wife of Sugriva. Her desire is to live a very comfortable life. When Vali said, I will give you the life which Sugriva cannot give you because I'm having the kingdom, come live with me, she was ready. For Angada, right? So Vali's son, is what I heard. Angada, his desire is to serve Sugriva, to serve Ram, and to serve Hanuman. So service was Angada's. For Jatayu, the desire is to protect Sita and Ram. So that is his desire. That is why we heard that Jatayu, he fought so much with Ravan. So he did not allow Ravan to take away Sita just like that. He fought with Ravan very, very fiercely until he lost his, feathers and he fell down. And again, she got the kind of a boon. That's what I heard from Mata Sita, that he must live alive till he meets Ram and tells Ram that Ravan took away Sita. So with that, Jatayu died, and all of us know that Ram did the final kriyas and karmas to Jatayu, and he took Jatayu as more like his father, because Jatayu and Ram's father, they were very thick friends. And he could not do those final rites to his father, and he did that rites to Jatayu. And Jambavan was a bear. His desire was to protect Sugriva. So this is the desire that I could see in all of them, in most of the characters in Ramayana. And this desire, as I said, is coming from all these trigunas. That's where the desires are coming. So if we need to take care of our desire, we need to take care of these trigunas. For us to understand and take care of these trigunas, it's not easy to understand. So we need a role model. And Ram is a perfect role model for that. Right? So we can actually talk about so many things in Ramayana. Because when you take this word dharma, there are many meanings to this word dharma. Maybe I'll stop with that because it's already 10:05. If you want, I'm always ready to continue with whatever little I know. But if you see dharma, there are many kind of meanings that I could see in the whole of Ramayana. Where one sort of definition of the word dharma is that which holds together. So dharma is the one which actually holds together everything. It only holds together. Dharma is the essence of it. Essence of it means what? Essence of what? Say, for example, if you take a salt, what is the essence of salt? The essence of salt is to be salty. That is the essence of salt. The essence of stone is what? Which means the dharma of stone is to be hard. That's the dharma of stone. The dharma of water is its coolness. The dharma of fire is whoever touches the fire, it has to burn, because that is the dharma. That's the essence of fire. The dharma of sugar is to be sweet. That's the dharma of sugar. So if we talk like this, then what is the dharma of a living entity? Right? Of course, including us. So the dharma of including living entity like us, I read that is to serve. That is our dharma. All of us, the only dharma that all of us are having is to serve. Right? We used to use the word kainkaryam. We need to serve. We need to serve what? We need to serve others. Others means what? Others mean this Jagat, the entire universe. Of course, that's where today we are talking about sustainability, the responsible living, because we want to serve. And our only dharma of our existence is to serve others. Of course, there are people who do not serve others, they serve themselves. Even if they serve themselves, the dharma that they are having, or the essence of dharma for the living entity, is to serve. Either they serve themselves if they are selfish, like Ravan, he was serving only himself. Vali, he was serving only himself. Surpanaka, she was serving only herself. Rakshasas, all of them, they were serving only themselves. They're all serving only themselves. Right? So in dharma, when you look at dharma, of course, the one another definition of dharma that I could see is the right conduct. Rama was the perfect example of the right conduct with everybody that he was looking, whether he was a king or whoever he was, and whatever the character that he was adorning, whether a father or husband or son or a brother or a king, the right conduct. Dharma is also word for duty. Dharma is duty. And there is one very fine Sanskrit word which says dharmo rakshati rakshita, which means if you protect dharma, dharma will protect you. Dharma will protect those who protects dharma. So if you see each one of the protagonists and antagonists in Ramayana, they has a unique dharma. They have the unique dharma. The adherence and abandonment of dharma drives the entire story of Ramayana. So that's what Ramayana that I can see here. So I hope I've spoke something. I don't know whether it made sense or not. So whatever we call them as Purushartha, Purushartha means there are four things that we need to have. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. That's called Purushartha. Right? So Dharma, Artha follows Dharma. So the first thing that we need to do is you protect your own Dharma, right? Swadharma. Artha follows. Artha means porul in Tamil, which means material or money or wealth in whatever way we call. Artha. Artha has to follow dharma, which means that whatever the wealth that we have must come only from the dharmic ways, not from adharma. Artha. Kama. Kama means enjoyment. Whatever the enjoyment that we have comes only from artha, and the artha has to come only from dharma. So kama are your fulfilling one's desires, right, has to come from dharma. And moksha. So moksha follows. So whenever you follow dharma, artha, kama, we will have moksha, right? As I said, mumukshu is the person who wants to be in moksha. And of course, we can talk so many things about Ramayana. So when Valmiki asked Narada as to who is the ideal man, as all of us know, he said he just thought for a second because Valmiki was asking 16 different characters, it seems, 16 different gunas. And he asked Narada, is there any one single person who can have all these 16? Narada just thought for a second and he said, I don't think there is anybody except this Ram. And then he said the entire story of Ram to Valmiki. After that, Valmiki started writing Ramayana as per the boon of Brahman. And I hope all of us know that. And where he talks about all those 16 characters and 16 gunas of Lord Ram that nobody else was having. He was having ocean of qualities. And when you look at his vigor in Janasthan, we heard that he killed 14,000 Rakshasas, 14,000 of them, including Karadushan, as a single person. That's the kind of valor, that's the kind of, vigorous that he was. That's one of the characters of him. You look at whether he's a Dharmavan or, a conscientious person. He never used to use any unruly or irregular. He never used to be inappropriate. Whenever you say gold standard, the gold standard for a human being is Ram. Nowhere else you can see this gold standard. He is perfectly aware of the right cause of his action. Right? He knows what to talk, how to talk, what to talk to whom. Very, very, very great character. And it seems that he never used to see any bad part, bad side of anybody. He always thinks about the good deeds that somebody was doing to him. Even a small squirrel, as I said, right? He was very, very kind. He only looks at the good deeds, not the bad deeds. So to Vibhishana, he said that, when the war was going on, he told Vibhishana that even if Ravana comes now and says that I surrender, I will wholeheartedly take Ravana with me. That's a kind of, he always sees only the good deeds and not even a single bad deed. To Kaikeyi, he never used a single word against Kaikeyi. We think that Kaikeyi did a very bad thing to Rama. No, Rama was very, very happy that Kaikeyi was asking that boon, and Rama was very, very happy that Mantara gave this idea to Kaikeyi, because the objective with which Rama born was to protect Dharma. He can protect Dharma only if he kills Ravana. How did he kill Ravana? Only if he goes to forest.
Dr. Sriram.
Yes, I'm sorry. I think I'm taking much of your time now. It's 9:15. I'm so sorry. I'm so much, engrossed in that. Sorry for that. Let me stop here. Thank you so much for hearing.
So thank you, Dr. Sriram, for your thoughts. So now let us join Dr. Sriram, please, with our comments, questions, and reflections, please.
Maybe we can invite respected, I am just forgetting the name, who is with Dell.
He's Professor Surya Kumar.
Professor Surya Kumar. I request Professor Surya Kumar to share some of his reflections.
May I have a few words?
Yes, sir, please.
Oh, so I have always seen Sriraman as a very disciplined man, and he is always known for his discipline inside the class, in life, and relations with all his friends. Very cool. And all that he has learned from Rama, that is how I am able to discern from his talk the values he has imbibed from Ram. I think we all have a lot of values to learn from the life of Ram, and the three gunas every day we experience, and we have to also balance our life in a manner in which we have a perfect balance of these gunas. Thank you all. Thank you so much. It was nice listening to Sri Raman. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Abhishek ji.
Yeah, I would like to say something.
Hmm.
Um, I must thank Professor Sriram for um, telling us the story so well, and not just the story. Of course, we know the story, but uh, the way he tied up all the elements of the story, um, and tied them up through trigunas, through various desires that people had, and also uh, uh, culminated the story into the personality of Shiram. So I think, thank you. I must thank you for so beautifully, almost poetically and movingly telling this story once again. And I felt very moved listening to you. Another thing, in fact, I want to make 2 points. One is that, when we see all these characters in Ramayana, all the characters, whether it is Lakshman or Bharat or Kumbhakarn as brothers, or many others, say role of friends, role of king, role of uh, maybe mother, father, various roles. And I feel that most of the examples, even Kumbhakarna or Meghnad, most of these examples are so ideal that just by performing their role well, most of them transcended their personality. So Sugriv, for example, or Lakshman or Bharat or Gu, each one of them, just because they lived their role so sincerely, they became legends. They became an ideal. And I feel that is the beauty of Ramayana, that transcendence in every role, in every personality. So I think that kind of transcendence is what Ramayana stands for. Ram, of course, is the final front, or the best, the epitome. But each one of the other characters are no less. So that is one point. Second point is, currently I am in Andaman, and I just came to know that Andaman was named after Hanuman. And one reason I have heard as a legend here, that when Ram was planning to attack Sri Lanka, he actually contemplated two attack from two directions. First, one direction is where he actually did, which is from Rameshwaram. There was another plan, and that plan was from Andaman, that he could have attacked or approached Sri Lanka through Andamans as well. So this is one interesting tidbit that I came to know recently. But I must thank Professor Sriram for a wonderful evening and a moving evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Abhishek. Only because of you, I got this opportunity to talk about Ramayana again.
No, opportunity comes only through Rama.
Rama gave this opportunity to Sriraman through Abhishek.
So now we invite Dr. Gyan Galoi to share some of his reflections.
Very much. Thank you very much. It was really very interesting, and I was meditating on the different points which were touched. I would be particularly interested in the relationship between the three gunas. That is, in your opinion, how can the subject find a way of putting the three gunas in harmony? Because as they are described in Gita, they originally in the individual, there is a contrast, an open contrast between them, which the individual is so to speak called, exhorted to cope with, to face courageously also with decision, but also with the awareness that to solve the problem of the finding of the search for and the finding of the harmony is not so simple. It is quite a thing which is going to occupy the activity of the individual for is always is our life. And well, I was wondering how you interpret it. That is of course the meditation, of course the thread of purification, but yes, it is. It seems to me everywhere I read it again in Gita, a very very difficult duty and life occupation for the individual to cope with this problem of the harmony and with the right education, meditation, and purification of oneself. So, but thank you very much. It was really very interesting, and I could take very many notice on which I will duly meditate. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Minati Pradhanji.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Very much, ma'am.
Thank you. I would first like to thank Professor Sriraman for very deeply reflected presentation. As he was going through one by one incident, there were many queries what was bubbling in my mind, but let me share my few thoughts, what I have gathered from his presentation, the life lessons. It could be the importance of virtue, the power of love, the consequence of ego and arrogance, and the victory of good over evil, unwavering devotion, then mutual respect and sacrifices and selfishness, and upholding the responsibility. And the very thing, what he means, all these questions still is there in my mind, what he reflected as Bishesh Dharma. I mean, still, pardon me if I'm sounding a bit this thing, but whether the Bishesh Dharma should be performed in those context or today's context. And among the queries, I have the query, when we are talking about gunas, what will be the 3 gunas of the season? That was not little clear. So can you reflect upon that? That is one question. I mean, query. The other thing is, when you say Vivishana is a Rakshas or Sugriv is a monkey, is it the gunas that make them either Rakshas or monkey? When you read different type of Ramayanas, especially the South thinks it is a invasion of invading the territory of South through a North Indian, if you take it like that. I mean, they say that below this, they did not look anybody as a human being or deva or anything. All were monkeys, all were rakshasas or jambuvan like things. So what is your take on that? And another general question I just want to ask, why more Ramayanas were written after Valmiki wrote the Ramayana? Whether the interpretations were not correct or the people did not understand what Valmiki wrote, why there were thousands of say interpretations or the local Ramayanas? These are my simple queries. If you can answer, please. Thank you. Thank you for.
Thank you.
Thank you, Minati. And
So
I request Sriraman.
Yes,
please.
yes. So whatever little I know. See, when we
So I think we are done with question answer session. I have my one query. Ganesh Devi said that Ramayana, Valmiki is the great poet, best poet, and Mahabharata is a great poet. Why he made this distinction? Means whether a great poet cannot write the great epic, or a great epic itself does not require, a great poet to be, to write. So, and if you can share some of the dharma of Love Kush and why Rama has failed to practice the dharma towards Love Kush, or why there is a kind of contestation in terms of dharma between Rama and Love Kush, for that matter. Thank you.
Whatever little I know. So when we come to these triguna, I said even the seasons, they are having triguna. See, there are seasons like spring. In Tamil, we call them as Vasanta Kalam. So seasons like spring, where you see that all those flowers and, the trees are greeny and there are a lot of flowers, and those sort of a season we see. There are seasons like, summer, where it is very hot summer that you can't even go out. Maybe in North India, many times you see that. There are seasons where it is so cold. And of course, there are some continents which are also very cold in nature. So that's why I said in seasons also we have these three gunas. So where is some part of the land where people say that it is fit for living. Antarctica is not the place where it is fit for living. So there are places where it is fit for living, which is kind of a sattvic. There are places where, it is not fit. It can either be, tamasic, or you will feel whenever, it is very cold, people cannot be very active. Our human system cannot be very active. Whatever the food that you are taking, you cannot, it will not just like that, digest. whenever it is very cool and cold. So people will be more of a tamasic. Where it is very hot, people will be kind of, rajasic. So that's what probably I think people say that even in seasons you have these three gunas. So even the entire nature we have three gunas. So that is my little thought. And your second question was about, Vibhishan and those uh, monkeys is what I could not actually follow as to what that question was. Uh,
No, just I will repeat it. It was like,
yeah,
no, is it the gunas they possess
yeah,
that
yeah,
one
yeah,
divide
yeah.
them as a monkey
Yes.
or the thing? That is what I said. One South Indian Ramayana says that it
Uh,
was, the people they did not from the north did not look at other people as human being. They looked at as monkey, rakshasas, and
no,
things like
no,
that.
not. Okay, okay. So whatever little that I could think about it is, see, whatever the form one is taking, whether it is a monkey or a horse or whatever it is, right, or rakshasas, I think it is more, our tradition says that it is because of whatever that you have done. See, whatever we are today is what we did till yesterday. Whatever we are going to be tomorrow is what we are going today. So they say that whatever that you are going to have, your maybe the next birth for those who believe in that is whatever that you are doing, your karma. Your karma is actually going to decide what you are going to be. Maybe you are a cat or a monkey or a rakshas or whatever it is what probably I think maybe the right to put it, because there is something called as, you maybe the nature want you to grow. So whenever you grow across this. And somewhere also I heard that there are, I think, around 84 lakh different species. When I say fish is one species like that. I heard somewhere, I think in Bhagavad, I'm not very sure on that there are 84 lakh different species that you have. And the highest of all those species is the human species. Which means that as a human, if we are human, which means that we have already passed through all those. We were fish at some point in time, we were cat at some point in time, we were monkey at some point in time. So we are human now. So the only difference that we have in that is a human, we can, interact like this. We have a lot of medium and we have self-realization. We do all these things, but other, forms of, other lives, maybe it is not there. So that's how it goes from one state to other. So that's what I could think of for that question. And the third that you ask is, there are different Ramayan. Why there is a need for different Ramayan? I think one way, very simple way of saying this is that if I say physics, there are thousands of books that are written on physics. It doesn't mean that the physics which is written by somebody is not right. An atom is atom, whoever is writing the book. So Ram is Ram, whoever is writing the book. So that is one straight way of putting that. But I think you are asking a much deeper question as to whether whatever, the Valmiki. See, whenever Valmiki Ramayan, as we heard, is in Sanskrit. And one thing is that, say, for Kambaramayan, it is written in Tamil. So people who do not know Sanskrit, they read Tamil. Like that, you have different languages. So it is a kind of a transliterated. And the second is that, see, Ramayan is an itihas. Ramayan. So itihas, whatever, see, there are deeper meanings in whatever is written. Any character that you take, there are deeper meanings in that. Any word that you take in Ramayana, there are deeper meanings in that. So that is why there are many authors who are looking at Ramayana in a different perspective. I look at the Ramayana in different perspective. You are looking at that in a very different perspective. Maybe since we have different perspectives, we have different authors who are writing them differently. That's what I could think of. If that answers your question, which I don't know. And there is another thing that Professor Randhir asked about Lavakush. Of course, this is also a question, as I said, the way that Ram was treating Lavakush, whether it was kind of dharma, where people are saying that it is not Samanya dharma, but kind of a Vishesha dharma. That's why he sent Sita back to forest again. of course, this love kush right from their very young days, when they were there in that ashram, is what they heard about Ram. And as all of you know, they came to Ram and they actually sung about his father to himself without knowing that he is their father. There are few questions in that, as you rightly said, why Ram acted like that. What could be the reason? What happened to them? Of course, after that, I heard that Ram gave his entire kingdom to both Love and Kush, and he went back. That's what I heard. But truly, this is also one of the questions that we have, whether what Ram doing was, whether it was right or not. We could not understand what it is. Maybe you need another Ramayan, which will, give their own insights into why it is happening. What could be the reason, whether it is right from Ram's point to be like that. I also have my own doubts in that.
So one more thing, in a feminist perspective, in Ramarajya, there is no place for Sita. She has been put
No,
many
no, no, no. I'm sorry. No. I think you have taken it wrongly from whatever little I read. See,
Yes.
actually, this Ramayan, there is another version to that. It is called Rama. Rama means Sita. It's actually a Ramayan. It is the story of Sita. Right, Rama, you can search for this word Rama. Rama is the word of Lord Lakshmi, and Lord Lakshmi is Sita. So Ramayan is actually the story of Sita. But what is traditionally known is he is Rama. So Rama Ayan, which means the story of Rama, is what we are actually looking at. But there is another interpretation to that. It is actually a Ramayan, not a Ramayan. So it is the story of Sita, not the Rama.
Yes. So, with the last word, then I will invite Minati ji to offer vote of thanks.
I wanted to say a little bit more, but there is no time today, some other day. I mean, that is
yes.
completely another perspective, a different perspective. So I will some other day, like,
Rabindranath Tagore once said that we do not have sculptures. If you want to understand Greece, you won't find at least two sculptures to reflect the whole history or psychology of Greece. But we have two epic like Ramayana and Mahabharata. Whatever India's sadhana, aradhana, and sankalp we have, we all these things we can find in Mahabharata and Ramayana. So this is like a Mahakavya which reflect the everyday life of every Indian and what should be the moral code of conduct, what should be the desire, or for that matter, everyday life expectation. Ramayana and Mahabharata acts like social norms. So thank you so much for sharing your deep reflection. And now I request Minati ji to offer vote of thanks.
Thank you. I am Minati Pradhan on behalf of Sudhya Chakra and Vishwaneedam Center for Asian Blossoming. Would like to thank our today's chief speaker, Professor Dr. Sriraman. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your deeply reflected presentation. Thank you. I would also like to thank Professor Surya Kumar, Professor Abhishek, and Professor Ganluiji, as always being present with us and giving your valuable inputs to our webinar. Thank you so much. I also would like to thank all the people who have joined our Zoom platform and the Facebook platform to be a co-learner in this journey. So thank you all and good night.
Thank you. Thank you all for this opportunity.